This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV with a daily wrestling news update for you. The big John Jones versus Stipe Miocic UFC fight at MSG happened last night. As I think anyone expected, since Stipe hasn't fought for 3 years and is 42 and John Jones is undefeated, Jones defeated him handily. Jones says he's going to continue fighting. UFC, of course, needs him. They don't really have any stars. As much as MMA people were talking about it, which I wouldn't say was an overwhelming amount, for everyone hating on the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, which I admit was very lackluster, way more people were talking about Tyson versus Paul than John Jones versus Stipe. In fact, I actually forgot about that fight was actually even happening this weekend till I saw the results. But Jones still undoubtedly, other than McGregor, is probably the second biggest known UFC fighter. Far less popular than McGregor. Much better fighter. Probably the best fighter of all time overall. But as a draw, he's never really been a huge draw. But at the same time, they need every draw they can get right now, because apparently their TV contract is expiring soon, and they're looking to get at least double for the pay-per-view rights. Apparently, I mean, WWE has an amazing deal with Peacock, but apparently they're getting more for their pay-per-view rights now than UFC, even though WWE pay-per-views are less popular overall than UFC. Apparently, the Tyson versus Jake Paul Netflix number peaked at 60 million homes were tuned into it, even with the streaming issues. I mean, that is a worldwide number, but hate on it all you want. People were interested in seeing it, probably more for Mike Tyson than Jake Paul. Apparently, Tyson ended up getting 20 million and Paul got 40 million. I mean, they were both winners in that I never expected anything other than what happened to happen in the fight. I think that the people that were delusional. And I mean, that fight with a 30-year age difference, it probably shouldn't have even been licensed. But if they're going to license any 58-year-old against any 27-year-old, Mike Tyson would probably be the good choice. Now, I mean, no surprise, AEW, apparently they're going to be using more CMLL guys in the near future, according to Wrestling Observer. Like that's going to do anything but turn more mainstream people off. People just don't care here about CMLL and going down the same path that is causing your incredible fall in popularity just doesn't make any sense. Let's bring in more Mexican wrestlers that nobody cares about in the US. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying nobody, but very few. It's just mind-boggling. And apparently, it's looking like they're going to start filming Collision after Dynamite on Thursdays instead of having it live. More often than not going forward. They did announce one show past December 12th yesterday, a Washington show later in December. But their schedule is still a mystery overall. Conan is apparently having serious health issues. God bless him. WWE signed Evander Holyfield's son and apparently a ridiculous amount of guys to WWE ID contracts, which again, this is going to affect AEW signing quote unquote hot independent stars, because WWE is giving these contracts to anyone that looks like a prospect right now. But I mean, they again, I love Mike Bailey as a nice person, and he's more deserving of an AEW contract than a lot of people. But again, this is their most recent signing, according to the Observer. They're going down the path. And again, I would be for signing him, but get rid of a bunch of guys, because he is more talented than a lot of guys under contract, and he's a really nice guy. but they're just going down the same path of these small, flippy, leg slapping type guys that it's not going to get you any new viewers. But I agree, sign him, but get rid of like 10 of them or 20 that you have under contract that aren't as good as him. And he is a legitimate martial artist. I respect him. I'm just saying, with these announcements, oh, we're bringing in more CMLL people, we're hiring Mike Bailey. That's not going to get you any new viewers, because that's just catering to the dwindling audience that you already have. Anyways, guys, I'm supposed to do an interview at 7 tonight with Northeast Independent Wrestling legend King Kalua. I hope that still happens. And Jack Kilby will be interviewing Cash Flow from Sylvester Stallone's Tulsa King television show at 5 p.m. Eastern tonight. So make sure to check that out. They will be taking fan questions. I also believe Cash Flow is involved with Al Snow's Ohio Valley Wrestling. We just hit 394,000 subscribers today. Appreciate that. And Jack Kilby also gave me an update on the TWA ECW Arena show in June. In May. May 3rd, I think it is, that Joel Goodhart is putting on. I will be involved with that show somehow. So Philadelphia, I checked last night. It's our 5th most popular city. I will be involved in the TWA event May 3rd at ECW Arena in some capacity. So I look forward to that. I expect I'll probably be doing some stuff here and there at American events in the coming months, since I'm spending the winter in the U.S.